February 9th Select Board meeting. Please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty, and justice for all. First item on our agenda is public comment. Is anyone here for public comment? Well, if you can sign the sheet and introduce yourself, please. You have 3 minutes.
I did sign. Erica Hedrick, 26 College Road. I'm sure you've heard from my neighbors already. So I'm here as a concerned resident regarding traffic safety on College Road. While the posted speed limit is currently 30 miles per hour, I and many residents of College Road strongly believe this speed is too high for the character and use of this street. College Road is a residential road with a large number of children. 36 children live on this road, which comprises nearly 50% of the street's occupants. The street is also adjacent to Wildwood Park. College Road has no sidewalks, forcing families to walk, bike, or scooter while attempting to share the road with vehicles. A 30-mile-per-hour speed limit on College Road is inconsistent with its residential nature. In addition, Bedford Street, which is a major commercial corridor, is a double-lined yellow road, is wider, but has sidewalks, and the speed limit is also 30 miles per hour, the same as College Road. So this is pretty inconsistent. We also have a dangerous curve on the road where multiple cars have come around the corner too fast, resulting in damage to my landscaping and to come across my grass. We are just concerned that the speed limit, even around the curve where it's supposed to be 25 miles an hour, people are having issues navigating that, and I think my landscaping is kind of example of that. We understand that a traffic study was conducted, and we really appreciate the town doing this. According to the information provided, there were 4,718 vehicles that were recorded coming down our street in a week. The results showed that 8% of the vehicles were traveling at or above 35 miles. We understand this does not meet the threshold of 15 miles exceeding the speed limit, but with this data, if you look at it, that means that 674 cars are coming down our street daily, with approximately 54 cars speeding. This seems already high and dangerous with how many children live on the street. And again, that's daily, 54 cars daily speeding down our street. I just don't believe that this data fully captures the real concerns on College Road. This study only occurred at a location on the street where drivers naturally slowed down or they haven't sped up yet. More importantly, the issue is not necessarily how many drivers exceed the posted speed limit, but whether the speed limit is appropriate for College Road. I would really encourage you guys as select board members to go drive College Road, starting at number 1, go up to 30, and see if you could make it down the street and then with the 25 on the curb. I tried it and I cannot. I think it's way too fast. Many of our neighbors support traffic calming measures, whether it's the speed bumps, decreasing the speeds, sidewalks, and we would love to work collaboratively with the town to make the streets safer for everyone who use it. So we ask that you re-examine this issue and that we can move forward with a resolution that will be beneficial for both College Road and all the children that live on College Road. I do just want to take a minute and thank the police department. The end of January, they came and have really been monitoring the road for speeders, for people going, because it's also a cut through, so do not enter. And my children have really enjoyed watching the police department pulling over 3 or 4 cars at the exact same time. So I think that tells you just how heavily trafficked our road is. So thank you for your time and consideration. I really appreciate the attention to this.
Thank you. Anybody else for public comment?
Good evening. My name is Alex, and I'm from Pine Glen. Last fall, I worked with a group to canvass residents and businesses to help support Article 13, a town meeting resolution condemning zoning violations and inhumane treatment of detainees at 1000 District Avenue. Every member of that group, including myself, frequently encountered residents and workers who were too afraid to email their town meeting members due to fears concerning their immigration status. It was heartbreaking. There are a lot of people in town who are too afraid to contact their representatives even about potholes, let alone anything more serious or controversial. Burlington is not alone in having people experience these fears. This is an issue across the country, especially with news of recent events out of Minneapolis. These fears impact the daily lives of many people, and they may be too afraid to call the police to report a crime or to open the door to police if they're a witness to a crime. They're afraid to contact their local representatives or engage in their local government, and they may even be too afraid to send their kids to school. All of this is a detriment to all of us. Several local cities and towns have enacted policies to help reduce these fears and give their citizens more confidence. Just recently, in Providence, Rhode Island, the mayor signed an executive order titled Prohibiting the Use of City Property for Civil Immigration Enforcement Activities. This order states that city-owned parking lots, parks, schools, municipal buildings, and other properties cannot be used for staging areas, processing locations, operational bases, or support sites for civil immigration enforcement without a valid judicial warrant. It further directs city departments to install public signage, reinforcing that these spaces are off limits for such enforcement actions, and provides templates for private property owners to clarify the laws on their own properties. Providence also reaffirms that local police will not act as immigration enforcement agents and do not inquire about individuals' immigration status in the course of standard policing. Similar protections in other municipalities include restricting how local law enforcement cooperates with federal agencies, only complying with valid judicial warrants, and prohibiting the use of city funds, personnel, or technologies to assist with civil immigration enforcement actions beyond what's required by federal law. Tonight, I'd like to ask the Select Board to put some serious thought into what Burlington can do to emphasize dignity and safety for all of our residents, to encourage public trust over fear, and to say that we stand committed to justice and inclusion. This might look similar to policies from Providence, or it might look entirely different. I think one of the beautiful things about local government is that we have the flexibility to create systems that work for us. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex. Anyone else in the room for public comment? Anybody online? Looks like no, so we will move on. Next item on our agenda is appointment for the Council on Aging, of Aging.
Mr. Chairman, we have Marge here to talk about the process that they use to try to recruit and interview somebody. So if we could hear from Marge, and I think that Selectman Tiggis was involved in the interviews or sat in with them, so he'd like to comment after that.
Thanks, John. So we actually put it in the newsletter that we needed a board member. And our newsletter goes out to 4,300 households or people, households, everybody over 60. So we ended up with 3 applicants. All 3 were excellent, strong candidates, and we brought them in, and with all but one of our board members and Selectman Tiggis, we did interviews in one fell swoop, one day, long day, and Jean rose to the top of the pile. She was an educator and an administrator for over 30 years. She's the mother of 2 and grandmother of 4. She has been a member of the BVRC since its inception and now sits on the executive committee. She volunteers at the food pantry. She is a volunteer at Hospice House in Lincoln. And she was born and bred Burlington. So we would very much appreciate if you would let me have her.
Do we have any, Selectman
Thanks,
Tiggis?
Mr. Chairman.
Yeah.
I just want to echo and reiterate what Marge said. I didn't participate. I was there as a member of this board, as a liaison figure. But three extremely qualified candidates, three enthusiastic candidates, and I don't know how they narrowed down their final choice, but I remember hearing from Jean, and it was stellar. It's almost like you say square peg, square hole. Jean just had everything. They all had everything, but Jean just, based on her experiences, I can understand why the COA board made this decision. I'm sure if another opening comes up, we'll probably have a couple of those candidates come back again, and we'd like them to, because it was just that. I often say this when we hire someone, we always hire the best. Now, it's not a hire, but we always seem to have the best within the boundaries of Burlington or within our town itself. So I enthusiastically support the COA's decision, and I think Jean would be an awesome and a great member of the COA board.
Any other members have any comments or questions?
Make a comment.
Sure.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you both for coming tonight, and thank you, Jean, for throwing your hat in the ring. Your background is really exceptional, and I think you'd be a really good fit for the board. So thank you, and I also, I typically serve as the liaison to this board, to the Council on Aging board. So I've been lucky to be able to attend quite a few meetings with the board and see what they do and how they contribute. And it's, it's great to see, obviously our Council on Aging provides many, many different services and events and activities for our senior community, and the board is what helps kind of keep that rolling. So thank you to Jean, thank you to Marge, thanks to the other two applicants who applied. Hopefully, in the future, they can lend their services in other ways. And thank you to all the other members of the board who help keep our senior center running.
Thank you, Sarah. Anybody else? All right. With that, I guess we'll take a motion. Or, Mrs. Denizio, do we have anything else you wanted to add before we took a motion?
No, that's it.
Okay, we'll take a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion, we approve Jean Perry as the new member on the Council on Aging.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstain. Chair's also an aye. That's 5-0. Congratulations. Welcome, and thank you for putting your service.
Thank you.
All right. Next item we have is a couple items with the DPW. Brian's here, I think.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have Brian and Ying Yi from the DPW for a couple of items. The first one is an annual item, and it's a little quirky Mass General law that allows you to spend beyond your appropriation in snow and ice and then raise it on the following year's tax bill, provided that the Select Board approve the authorization to go beyond that spending limit. This is been around for a long time. Everyone here has had it every year they've been on the Select Board, I'm sure, and I've talked about it every year from my entire time here and everywhere else I've worked. The town has traditionally or historically funded the budget for snow and ice at the same amount, and folks often ask, why do you fund it at the same amount, and then come and ask for more money? And the reason is because of the way this law is written. If you increase your appropriation, and you can't decrease it unless, if you do, you wouldn't be able to overspend that appropriation. So it's a little quirky, but it's annual and it's every year. So Brian writes a memo, he comes and talks about the storms, which I will let him do now, but this is just, it has become more of a housekeeping.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, Board. So this request, I'm sure it's, everyone remembers the 18 inches that we just recently got, so it's fresh at everyone's head. Unfortunately, we got more snow this weekend, so this doesn't really reflect that storm. So we're already digging into, if you see the memo, we're already digging into that surplus that I was hoping to have to cover us for the rest of the year. So we may be back shortly, given possible snow tomorrow. And this time of year, we end up getting, with the warmer days and cold nights, we end up having, we may not be getting as many snowstorms, but a lot more de-icing events. So even though it's not snowing out, we still may be spending money. So this request currently is for an extra $700,000. As we were preparing this, we, looking out at the next board meeting, we had already run into a deficit of about $124,000 before that large storm that we had. Some costs with that storm may still be trickling through, but I think we have a pretty good grasp finally on that storm, and that should put us about $520,000 in deficit currently. So the $700,000 request would cover that $520,000 current deficit, and would leave approximately $180,000 for the rest of the year. This past weekend, with another over 4-inch storm, that's probably down to 100 now or so. Which isn't much for the rest of February, half of February, March, and maybe April. So I can go into a lot more specifics, but instead of boring you, I'll let you ask the questions. that
Mr.
you-
Chairman, I neglected to add, when we build our budget and all of our forecasts, we assume we're going to go over by $500,000 in this area every year. So on all our projections, we anticipate a deficit, of raising a deficit of at least that. In some years, it's less. The last few years, last year was about 400,000. The year before that was 93. The year before that was like 200. So over time, the 500 works. It might not be the exact amount every year, but it's a good barometer for us to use. So we program that in already. This is going to be a huge budget buster. So I just want to make sure I added that.
Joe?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Listen, 12 years I've been saying yes to this, so naturally I'm going to say yes again tonight. But on a different note, I just want to say that when I'm out there myself and the lots that I plow, and I see the guys out there working at 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 at night, whatever time it is, they're doing an incredible job with the plowing and the sanding. And then to come back the next day and clean everything up and use the sidewalk plows and use the little snow blowers on different streets to make them wider. Your team's doing an outstanding job. I see Kevin out there, and I ask him, how's it going? You know, at 2 o'clock in the morning, we'll be sitting in the middle of Wind Street with both trucks going the wrong way. There's no one around, but you get to talk to the guys and see the guys out there working. So your crew's doing a great job with that. I just want to commend you and Kevin for the job that they've been doing out there all season long so far. And there may be a few glitches here and there where people's street isn't as wide as they think it should be, but then again, it is what it is. You get 18 inches of snow in one storm. That's quite a bit of snow to try to find some place to put it on, and then to come out later on and clean up the corners the way you do. I just want to commend your staff and everyone else there too. So that's all I want to say. Thank you.
Thanks, Joe. Jim?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I know most residents think about, snow removal and whatnot, salting and sanding. They're thinking of a snow-related storm. It's a snowstorm, snow on the ground. I think you said warm days and cold nights. I've missed those warm days. I don't know where they went. But anyway, my point being is that we've had several water breaks recently, and the same vehicles, the salt, the sand, have to respond to those, especially that nightmare on Wind Street. So the salt and sand goes to that, not just the snowstorms itself, because when you have running water in 0-degree weather, it creates ice, and they have to eradicate that and mitigate it. So it is the snow, and again, great job is what I've heard. There'll be 1 or 2 people complaining, but they complain when the asphalt's not dark enough. But anyway, from what I can see, great job. And I just want to mention, it's not always just snow. It's incidents like water main breaks, and we've had quite a few, I think. At this time of year is a popular time for them. But this goes to with that as well. I just wanted to make that point.
Okay. Nick, Sarah?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yeah, I'll echo the sentiments of my fellow board members, and thank you all for your work keeping up with this crazy weather this year we've been having. I did just have a question. So for previous years, has there been a time when you have come to us, asked for an amount, and then didn't need that much?
Well, usually, instead of coming every meeting and asking storm by storm, we do try to ask for enough to get us through the end of the year, and obviously that's going to end with hopefully a little bit of surplus if we estimate accurately. I
And then
think
does that
John can,
roll into the 350K base amount for the next year?
We would only raise the amount that it's in deficit. So the last 3 years haven't gone to 500,000, we've approved 500,000 each time. So we only raise, last year I think it was 407,000. So when we set the tax rate this past year, we just did 407,000. So all you're doing is authorizing them to go beyond it. It doesn't, transfer any money into that account. There's no logistical thing that happens in the accounting.
Yeah, I just wonder if I'm reading these numbers correctly, and hearing what you're saying, basically we have $100,000 for the rest of the winter season,
yes.
if you factor in this most recent storm.
Yep.
Is it worth amending that amount to bumping it up to, what was the original request? Sorry, 700, bumping it up to 800, or so that you don't have to come back to us if you do need something? That's just a thought.
Yeah, I would welcome it. As much as I love being here, it may save me another.
He's coming back 3 more times, end of the season anyway.
I don't know if that makes sense.
It does make sense.
I had the same thought.
There's no downside. If you don't spend it, if they don't use it, it doesn't get spent.
I mean, I hope we don't need it, but
Right, yeah.
if we do, it might be worth it just to request 800,000 instead of 700,000.
Sure.
Hope that gets us through the winter. That's
Works for me.
Can she amend that right now?
maybe when
I think just in the
we're
motion.
voting.
In the motion.
On the floor, yeah, just,
Nick, any comment before we take a motion?
No, I mean, you guys know how I feel. Appreciate the hell out of you guys. I had some questions that we'd do offline. I'm not going to bog down tonight with it. And I'm in favor of amending to 800,000. I think, yeah, you're here between now and May anyways with a million other things, but this gives you peace of mind to, get through the next few winter events, without having to come back and worry about budget, then let's do it.
And that was also my question is, would 100,000 be enough? But if we're going to bump it to 8, then I want to make sure we're covered. And also, just to echo everyone else, I do appreciate all the good work that they do on the roads. It's been a rough one, so they've been doing a good job this year. So kudos to you and your team. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I don't deserve the credit. It all goes to the guys that were out there. And if I may, I mean, that storm, they didn't go home for 48 hours. So, and then as you brought up the water break, the water and sewer division helped plow for the first 24 hours. And then, as they're kind of wrapping up, they get the call that there's a water break. So after 24 hours of plowing, now they're out in the cold, wet snow, fixing a water break. So, they're very committed, and they put a lot of work in.
It's appreciated. Jim?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I had a follow-up, actually, kind of out of curiosity. Is this the first major snowstorm we've had since we've had the new DPW building?
Yeah, I don't recall one over a foot.
My
I
follow-up
don't believe
question-
since I've started, so.
My follow-up question would be, how did having the new building impact removal? Like you said, they were there 48 hours. I know there's facilities in the new building that would make that possible. Is there any way of comparing and contrasting how much better it is now for the workers than that 3-car garage they used to be in?
Oh, yeah, I mean, operationally, they're able to store everything accessibly, so if they go out tight areas where it's tough to have a plow on, and you want to ride around and just salt without a plow, it makes it way easier to pull into the garage. The plow's sitting right there. It's just to add the plow back onto the mount, far easier. The vehicles are all, clean. There's no snow on them to clear. Heated, so they can go back in, let the wiper blades kind of de-ice. Again, 48 straight hours with the bunk rooms. That's going to help at least keep them awake. So yeah, they definitely appreciate the new building for storms like
I
this.
just wanted to see the impact of the new building, since this was the first big snowstorm since we've had it, that's all. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. If there's no other questions, I'll take a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the request for an additional 800,000 up from the original $700,000 request for the FY26 Snow and Ice Fund.
Seconded.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained. Chair is also aye. That's 5-0.
Mr. Chairman, Brian's second item that he's here for is a follow-up to a conversation we had back in the early winter, late fall, when we were here asking about working beyond the moratorium. And I think it was Selectman Tigas who brought up the fact, should we be extending, or should we be adjusting that time frame? And we had a lot of conversation with DPW, and what they came up with was to, and Brian sent a detailed memo that was in your backup, and is here to answer any questions about it. But what they thought would be most helpful would be to leave the moratorium the same and allow them to go a month in either direction. So it's go into December 15th with just engineering DPW's approval to open the street, and then the same bringing it back to March 1st from April 1st. Given that this board doesn't approve anything without them saying it's okay anyway, and they always get the final say when there's any weather. And additionally, in his memo, you'll see some requests for night work on Middlesex Turnpike, but that was the gist of it, and Brian's here to talk more about it and answer any questions.
Sure. So, yeah, John covered it all. I'll dive a little deeper into the night work. I know when we came to ask for your approval for the extension back in December or November, one of the concerns the board had was, the holiday season, holiday traffic, and, that work was already being done overnight hours. So obviously, if we're, I imagine you'll have the same concern if we extend it to December 15th indefinitely. So one of the additions that I think would make sense, and it would roll over into the summer as well. It wouldn't just be limited to the seasonal, at least to my intent, would be on Mall Road and Middlesex Turnpike to allow for overnight work based on the applicant. That's, if it's something small, maybe it's not worth doing overnight if it's not going to disrupt traffic. If it's something significant, we can condition it to be overnight hours. I think most of the work that ends up getting done on those roads are historically always been approved by the board to be done outside of the normal construction hours, which is in the town's bylaws. So this would, I think Middlesex Turnpike is, there's the old extension, which is the only residential neighborhood, and it's pretty well shielded from residential neighborhoods. Same with Burlington Mall Road. It gets a little close by South Bedford and Stony Brook, but it's still relatively shielded from there. So, definitely to cover the concern about holiday season, we would, ask for the allowance of night work, but also to prevent, applicants coming in front of you throughout the year for night work on Mall Road and Turnpike. That's a proposed edit.
Any questions or comments from the board on this?
Mr. Chairman, may I just add that in the backup included red line version of the DPW rules and regulations, which is where this, where the rules that they follow are. Brian offered a recommendation for a change to those rules and regulations.
Anyone?
I don't have a problem with this at all. I have no problem with this whatsoever. None.
I just have a couple questions.
Sure.
So for rules and regulations, those only have to go through select board for approval? Okay, so as I'm trying to wrap my brain around this, in the past, for work on Mall Road, Middlesex Turnpike, any overnight work throughout the entire year had to come to us? Is that how the process worked?
Yeah, so I believe the town bylaws have certain restrictions for weekdays, Saturday, and then Sundays is distinguished for construction hours. And it allows for both the planning board and the select board to have their own say in it. So since it's not in the rules and regs, in order to get that approval, any night work for any location would need to be approved by the board within the right of way. I assume planning board is for private site approval. So this would allow for Mall Road and Middlesex Turnpike to be in our rules and regs in that way for, long pipe work, National Grid, our water main project, things that make sense to be done at night, we can condition to be done at night.
Okay, so just because I get a little into the weeds with the wording, it says on Burlington Mall Road and Middlesex Turnpike, work may be limited to non-peak overnight hours as determined by the permitting authority. Does that mean it's strictly limited to the overnight hours, or they are allowed to work overnight when they request that?
So it's May, and then I think we would look at a case by case. Like I said, if
Work
it's.
during the day, when it's approved?
Yeah.
Okay.
So like a sidewalk, something with removing a sidewalk panel that might be off the road but still in the right of way, which would technically, if it's not going to disrupt the traffic, and I'm sure town engineer will review with traffic safety officer and police and see what their preference is. But I think there's probably still some work that isn't going to disrupt. DOT also has, when you're in there right away, a lot of times they'll restrict the construction hours between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m., I believe it is. So we may, if the work makes sense, may even just limit it to those hours rather than night work. But
Okay, so that's one of the changes being made in these rules and regs, is allowing overnight work in that area.
Yep.
The other is making it so that, when we have these requests for work in that area during the winter months, now it's only between December 15th and March 1st?
Yes.
Those would come to us?
yes.
Okay. Previously, it was like November and then into April. So now the approval process is you guys will handle it and approve it on your end. They don't have to.
Yes. Yeah, and we think with just, we would add conditions onto the permit that if the weather forecast shows, or, storm coming, they need to be off the road. You may, have 24-hour notice to clean up, back up. What we did for our pipe job is we required the trench to be paved at the end of every day. That way you're not plowing with dirt and gravel, and, you really wouldn't want that on those two roads anyways, but this would be everywhere.
Okay, that's helpful. I have no problem with this. Makes total sense to me. But thank you for your work on this.
Any other questions or concerns? Nick? Joe? If none, that's the case, I'll take a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve the change in rules and regulations as presented by Brian White.
Second.
Motion's made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained? Chair is also aye, 5-0. Thanks, Brian.
Thank you.
Thank you, board.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is for St. Mark's, their annual procession. Well, if you can introduce yourself, please.
I am Deb Raymond. I am from, actually, the United Church of Christ. It's called the St. Mark's because that's where it begins. So this will be the third year we've come to you and asked about this. We actually didn't do it last year because it was a very sloppy day, and our little mini horse can't go out on that kind of weather. So we didn't do it last year. But, so what it does is it proceeds from St. Mark's up Bedford Street to the United Church of Christ, and that's where we finish. So we've had, last time you provided a, not you, but the town, a bicycle police person, and then there was another police person.
What's the date and time, Ms. Raymond?
It is March 29th this year, and we'd like from 11:30, so we gather at 11:30. The procession actually starts at noon, and then we ask till 1:30, but we're usually done well before that.
And this is going to be the third year you're doing it?
Yeah.
Yep. All right, any questions? Jim?
Any rain date?
We don't do a rain day because there's only one Palm Sunday. That's why it's
Well, I
that
didn't-
date.
yeah, I
It's a
know.
Palm
I just
Sunday.
didn't know
Yeah,
if it
no rain date.
Okay.
Thanks for asking, though.
Anyone else with questions, or? No? Yeah, no, we've done this several times, and it's always been a success, and The mini horse will be back this year, I hope?
Yes, Clyde.
Clyde is the name?
Clyde.
Fantastic.
Nobody knows the parade, they know Clyde.
Of course, of course.
And they better know Clyde's helpers, too.
We do know Clyde's helpers, and they're awesome.
Excellent. In that case, I'll take a motion.
Chairman, I make a motion, we approve the St. Mark's procession, March 29, 2026, starting at 11:30.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstain. Chair's also aye. 5-0. Good luck and good weather.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
This year, who knows, right? I might be talking to the DPW.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Next item on our agenda is a couple approvals for some general licenses. We have Julienne's Bakery. Come on up, introduce yourself, please.
Hello, my name is Julie Lewis. I'm representing my bakery, Julienne's Bakery and Cafe. We're hoping to open at 154 Cambridge Street, Unit 3, next to Goodnight Johnny's, around April, May now. We've gotten a little delayed from our original hopeful date, but yeah, we're asking for approval of our general business license.
Okay, we have any questions?
Well, just a couple of comments.
Comments, yeah, sure.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I wish you the best of luck. Do you have a grand opening coming up? Do you have anything that you're on TV for the town right now?
Yeah, no,
The advertisement.
I appreciate that so much. You can follow me on social media, Julienne's Bakery, Burlington, and there will be a grand opening. I'll be working with the Burlington Area Chamber of Commerce to do a ribbon cutting ceremony. We'll have a couple of soft openings to get our staff ready, and then we'll have a grand opening, and that will all be announced. I don't have dates yet until the construction is finished, but thank you.
I wish every business the best.
Jim?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd love to see the difference, the variety of stores in that area. It was very quiet for a long time, but it's nice to see that with the recent additions. It's really nice to see a resident opening a new business in town. So wish you all the best, and I'm definitely in favor of it.
Thank you so much.
Sarah?
Sure, thank you. And I'm so excited for you, Julianne. I know it's been a long time coming.
Yes, thank you.
And really wish you the best of luck. And, you know, I know it's taken a lot of hard work and perseverance on your part. So I look forward to being there and having it in walking distance from Town Hall. So hopefully you get a lot of business from some town employees. But yeah, best of luck.
Thank you so much.
Mr. Priest?
Yeah, this is, I mean, everything that everyone said, obviously, you know, we're so excited and happy for you. And anything that puts space between my house and Town Hall where I can stop, and especially if it's a bakery, like, it's not going to be good for my waistline, that's for sure. But I'm super excited. So please let us know when the ribbon cutting is. Let us know when soft open, grand opening. Let us know.
Thank you.
I know I don't want to speak for everyone, but I mean, I know that we do, are so happy and we're here to support. So.
Thank you so very much. I appreciate the words.
What kind of stuff are you going to be selling? What?
So one of my specialties is pies. So we'll have large pies and pies by the slice. I do a killer cinnamon roll. We'll have all the, pastries, breakfast pastry, muffins, scones. I love to do cakes too, birthday cakes, things like that, and cupcakes, cookies, decorated cookies, and all varieties of cookies. And so we're not a bread bakery, but we will also have some food. And John asked about breakfast sandwiches. Yes, we will have breakfast sandwiches and a little bit of lunch too, some, soup and sandwich type of lunch. And the thing that I'm most excited about is we're going to be doing afternoon tea on Sundays. So, tell your grandma and your mother and your little girls, we could do little tea parties, birthday parties and things like that. So it's a little niche that really isn't met in this area right now. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
So we wish you the best. I've been following along on social media. I'm all excited for you, and I know we'll all be in there to support you. And anything we can do for you, please don't hesitate to reach out to any of us, and wish you all the best.
Thank you so much. I appreciate
All right.
that.
If there's any other questions or comments, none, we'll take a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve general license GL 261 for Julienne's Bakery, 154 Cambridge Street.
Second.
Made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained. Chair's also an aye. 5-0. Congratulations. Good luck.
Thank you so much.
Good luck.
Good luck.
And let it keep us posted on your grand opening.
I will.
All right. Next one's for Qdoba. Is someone here for Qdoba?
If anyone's online for Qdoba, they could raise their hand and we could unmute them.
Roger Palmer? Mr. Palmer?
Yes, I am district manager from Qdoba, representing the company, requesting the approval for the business license.
Okay. Any questions or comments from anyone?
This is going in the Market Basket Plaza on Middlesex Turnpike.
Yes, that's correct.
I have no questions, no.
Mr. Palmer, do you have an opening date planned?
We are planning to receive the restaurant after construction is around April 15, and grand opening, it's scheduled right now for April 20th. If nothing goes wrong with construction, of course, we don't have any delays lately, and everything is on the schedule, so yes, April 20.
Okay, thank you.
Nothing.
All right. No other questions or comments? I'll take a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve joint license GL 26-4 for Qdoba, 43 Middlesex Turnpike.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained. Chair's also an aye. That's 5-0. You're all set. Good luck, Mr. Palmer.
Thank you. I hope I see everybody there.
We'll come check you out.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You too. All right, on to subcommittee reports. Anyone want to go first? Jim?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Public Arts Committee just put out a call to artists. We do have a few sculptures that we own, but we also have a few that we lease for a 2-year period, because you want to change the art. You don't want it to be stagnant. You want it to be the same old thing. So every couple of years, we put out a call to artists for new sculptures. So that just went out. That's at the very beginning of the stages, and there'll be more to come on that. Let's see, and we're in the process of planning on painting a utility box on the Common, probably not the MassDOT one, because that's too much. So maybe the one by where the police station was and will be, but working on that. We actually have an artist from the Indian Americans from Burlington who's very interested in taking on that task. She has a website. I'll get more information on that. My other subcommittee, Fire Department, January has been rough. We had the snow. Firefighters were out shoveling fire hydrants for 2 days straight. They responded in January, 427 calls total, 261 medicals. They had 3 fires, one including a chimney fire that had, but because of their response was so efficient, there was minimal damage to the fire, the house. And interesting, there was 22 hazard responses, some sort of hazard at the scene, which was interesting. And that could be anything from a chemical to carbon monoxide, and I'm sure with all the cold and the furnace issues, I'm sure a lot of them were carbon monoxide related. But then I asked the chiefs, I'm actually going to meet with Chief Brown after the budgeting season, because I want to make sure he gets through that first, because I like to do monthly meetings with the chief. But I asked Deputy Chief, or Assistant Chief Steve McLean, to give me a summation of 2025, what the whole year in review was. So just to give you an idea of the bigger picture of how busy our firefighters are, in 2025, they responded to 5,386 incidents. They had 9 building fires and a total of 91 fires, which are both up from 2024, almost double the amount of building fires. And as far as medical goes, again, a great asset, having ALS in town, 3,031 ALS calls in the year 2025. So our guys and girls at the fire department are doing a bang-up job. They're doing a great job. And just so comforting, and to see them, I don't say it's good to see them being busy, but having such a great department and having such a huge volume of calls for service, the residents should really feel comforted knowing that. So kudos to all the firefighters and paramedics that we have.
Okay, definitely. Nick,
Yeah.
you have a subcommittee, or you have anything you want to share tonight?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Couple quick things. So obviously, this has been probably one of the coldest winters we've had on record. Seems like it's getting colder and colder every year. I don't know how many more negative degree days we can kind of endure. But, this is just your, reminder that if you happen to see us and you catch this part of the meeting, check on your neighbors, check on the seniors, in your neighborhood, check on them and keep an eye on your pets. This weather is truly abysmal. It does not take long for skin damage to occur. So please, check. And then, these are also the kinds of temperatures where pipes freeze real easy and real fast. So, someone might not realize their pipes have frozen. And sometimes just popping over to a neighbor's house, and checking in and making sure your neighbors are safe and, all is well is not the worst thing in the world. An actual subcommittee thing, Economic Development Advisory Group is back up and running. Melissa has been getting that going, and Sarah and I had the opportunity to attend a meeting last week. Super excited for that, and everyone just keep space in March because we're hoping to have some kind of a summit. And I say some kind of a because I think that's kind of evolving right now. I'm really trying to find the right structure for it, right? And what we're really hoping to achieve from it. There are a lot of things that we could be doing short-term and long-term from an economic and community development standpoint. And I think that it takes a lot of work. Lastly, just a kind of a bizarre offhand comment, if I may. Julie Lewis is here before us, opening a bakery. It's wonderful. We're all super excited, that we have a resident, and someone who's given back so much to the community, opening a bakery. And I think just this past weekend, I saw on Facebook, which is always a great place to go when you're bored, a lot of folks complaining about the types of restaurants that tend to open up in Burlington. And I just kind of wanted to say, the select board, planning board, we don't control that property owner private relationship. When somebody is looking to open something, it has to fit within the parameters that we have here from a bylaw and law and licensing and, all these different parameters have to be met, sure, but we can't just out and out say no because it's not the quote-unquote type of thing that we want to see in our community. That requires bylaws and town meeting and zoning and the whole bit. So I guess what I would say is, if you want to see a mom and pop restaurant or open one, right? Or find someone who can open one, right? I think that's kind of the push and the call is I think that for the last 5 of the 6 years that I've sat at this dais, I have said, volunteerism is something that we need to push for, but it's not just to sit at this table. It's not just to help out with people helping people. It's all facets of community work and life. And if you're not satisfied with the things that you're seeing in town, then help us find a way to bring them to town. And maybe that means you open a business, or you find someone who can open a business. So anyways, I'll put my soapbox away for now. I appreciate the time. Thank you.
Joe?
Well, I was going to talk about the water, all the water main breaks. There's been quite a few of them. And you drive by and you see those guys out there working diligently on the water main breaks. I drove by the one on Wynn Street, and it had to be, 6 degrees outside. And they're all standing there in a puddle of water, freezing. And I just peeped the horn and waved and said, "Good luck, boys." It's like, you got to give them credit. You really got to give them credit for being out there that long and doing all that stuff, you know what I mean? So Jimmy talked about it a little bit ago, so that's all I got. Nothing on anything else.
Sarah?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just a couple of things from me. We had our Council on Aging Director in tonight, and I did just want to highlight one of the big events that they put on every year is the Senior Prom, which is coming up on April 2nd at 6 p.m. on Thursday. It's a new venue this year. They're going to be at the Cafe Escadrille, and tickets go on sale March 2nd. And they are always looking for sponsorships from local businesses to help put on that event. It is quite an event and a lot of fun, so hopefully people can look out for that. Also for Board of Health, their annual health fair is being held Saturday, April 25th in the high school gym. What do they call the other gym? The rubber gym or something?
Rubber and wooden?
Yeah, the rubber gym. And they are also looking for people who, want to have a table, whether, if you work in the health industry or the wellness industry and you want to highlight your business, reach out to our Board of Health. And that's all I have.
Thank you. One thing I have is on January 20th, we lost one of our town meeting members, Carrie Riley. She was a longtime serving town meeting member, and I just wanted to extend my condolences to the Riley family, her husband Ron, and her 3 kids who all went through the Burlington school system. Carrie was a 1990 graduate of Burlington High, and she was also a dear friend. So my condolences go out to them, and that's all I had. Town Administrator report.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Just a few things to note is what's coming up. Some of the topics I just wanted to touch on briefly was police station update. Anybody that's driven by notices it's gone. Police station's not there anymore. And, you can see them actively working on the site. We have our OPM is there all day, every day. You'll see the trailers that are over there. We'll start seeing foundations go in soon. And then, there'll be a building over there before we know it. But I just wanted to say we made another major milestone, so I wanted to make sure I said it at a meeting. A couple of things on zoning in general bylaw articles are due tomorrow. That warrant closes tomorrow. To date, we have a couple of them. We have one on Zero Summit Drive from Reamer and the Gutierrez Company talking about potentially housing units up there. We'll have that group come to see this board shortly, maybe at our next meeting, maybe the meeting after that. They'll kick it off with planning board pretty soon, and there's a group of staff working with them about whether we can really make it for May or not, but more to come on that one. Verizon has filed for a cell tower at Kimball Court, which is outside of the wireless tower, a wireless overlay district. So that's why they need a zoning change for that, so I'm sure there'll be a lot of conversation about that. And then the other one was the crypto, that the police have already come to see you for that, and that was withdrawn at January due to a timing issue that they hadn't had a chance to meet with the General Bylaw Review Committee. So they'll be doing that. Next, what will be dominating our agenda for the next few months will be, we've kicked off the FY27 budget review process. A few weeks back, we were able to have our guidelines, or our budget summit, where we set the guidelines for the year. And at our next meeting, we'll kind of go over what those are and, where we are in that schedule. But you'll be reviewing departmental budgets at the next, say, 4 meetings. There'll be 8 or 10 groups that come, maybe less when it's a bigger group, but similar to years past, we'll have the department head here. Rachel will be here. Patrick will leave an overview, and you'll have all that stuff ahead of time. You'll be able to get on to the online version of the budget, and you'll have binders tomorrow, right? No, this week. Yeah. Along with that, we'll be doing warrant articles. After we finish doing the budget reviews, we'll start the warrant article reviews, and that'll take us right up to town meeting. And I was able to share with you all, hopefully you had a chance to at least see it, not review it yet, it's 280 pages. But our first attempt at a new and improved capital improvement plan, something we've been working on since Patrick got here. So we'll definitely be doing some presentations on that. Economic development updates, Nick talked about the advisory group is back together. and planning the economic summit or session, which will really hopefully be a group of sessions on a bunch of different topics. And that will be the March 11th or March 18th. The date will be finalized tomorrow, but there's plenty of time to get that in your calendar. Along the lines of economic development, I was able to attend a panel review put on by M3 last week, where our economic development director was the moderator for the panel, and as usual, total professional, knocked it out of the park. I got to see her in action. It was really something to witness. But the panel itself was great. It was on the future of the workplace. So it was up at Blue Sky Drive, at 95 Blue Sky Drive, in their amenity center, which is outstanding. If you haven't been there, you should go see it. Golf simulator, basketball court, all the amenities for that whole park in one place. And they sort of talked about how that dynamic helps attract people back to the office. But what was interesting about it is we talk, when we talk a little bit Chicken Little about the sky falling and commercial values and people remote working. In fact, the stats we got back from surveys from brokers and landowners was that people have increased the amount of mandatory days in the office, and folks are actually attending even more than the mandatory days. So that's in the right direction, I hope, for us. We'll also be hearing from Shawsheen. They're, as I think everybody is aware, they've been accepted into the MSBA process. They're at the very beginning. They'll be coming in May for feasibility study. They'll be looking for an appropriation. The top end of that, for the cost for that for Burlington, would be about $165,000 out of the 1.5 million. But it's unclear exactly how much they're going to have to ask for. But they still want to come and talk to the boards about the project and about the timing of it. It's out into the future a little bit. They're just at the beginning stages, but it'll be here before we know it. So we're going to try to line them to come to this board on hopefully a night they have subcommittee with Ways and Means, so they can just come out once. As you can imagine, they have 5 towns that they represent, and they have to go to 5 select boards, 5 finance committees, 5 town meetings. So hopefully we can help them out and get them to see us. 2 other quick ones. I do every month or every other month at the senior center. We have what's called Coffee with the TA. As you can imagine, it's packed. People come to see the TA. We share some munchkins and talk about what's going on in town. And I'd love to invite some board members to come with, over the next few months, if you'd like to come with me or have one of those yourself. They'd love to see you. And then again, you guys all already did it, but just to thank the DPW and the residents. The DPW works hard to make sure they get the roads open and safe, the main roads and the side roads, and then they kind of go back and do the sidewalks. And that's not always convenient for everybody, that their road isn't done right away and that the sidewalk's not done right away. But thank you, everybody, for their patience, and thank those guys for their hard work. I know Brian said 18 inches, but I think he was underselling it. It seemed like more than that. But, I know you all got a chance to thank him already, but I just wanted to make sure I got it. And that's it.
Did you have something you wanted to add, Joe?
I did, yeah. So just real quick, I got some phone calls from residents on Chestnut Road that because of the car wash, so this is going to be more directed at John more than anybody else. See what we can do. Apparently, and it's that time of year, everybody wants to wash their car, so the traffic gets backed up. They block Chestnut, either coming out, going in, whichever way you want to go, right, left, but the road's all blocked off. So if we can do something about that, if we can talk to the police department or send them a letter to send somebody out there to stop blocking the road. I'm not trying to stop the business from washing cars, because we all like a clean car, but when they block the road and you can't get through, and then you get a call from the residents, like, I understand the business, and it's only a certain time of the year, especially now, a little bit warmer, everything's melting, car gets dirty, you want to go wash it, the next day you got to wash it again. So just putting it out there for the administrator to go talk to the police, can we just send them a letter? Or do we have to go a certain path that we have to go by?
No, I mean, I think, Mr. Chairman, thank you. I think typically what would happen is someone from the PD would swing by, a traffic person would swing by and remind them about how they're supposed to handle it. And, like we talked about, it's going to be for the next few weeks. But I actually drove through it today. I thought that all those people were stopped at the light at Lakash's, and I couldn't believe how much traffic there was. But
Yeah, it
I went
affects,
by it, it was only,
it affects Cambridge Street too, especially
It does.
with the realignment of the lanes. It backs up Cambridge Street, so.
so it'll start with a traffic
Yeah.
person. We'll swing by.
Okay, just so that the residents know we're going to try to do something about that, at least not block the road to get in Chestnut, that's all. That's all I got, sorry, I forgot that earlier.
All right.
Motion to adjourn?
Second?
Motion made second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained. Chair is also an aye. We're adjourned.